Hey everyone, welcome you all to the channel. Now this video is gonna be a bit different than the other videos on this particular channel. Um, Although all of those were something around solidity, writing the smart contracts or something else, but yeah, this video is gonna be a bit different. Let's talk about the creator's dilemma, right? Let's get ahead from the regret to redemption. Cool. So let's get simply get started with it. Okay. One thing that always bothers me was it has never been a really a great sign when the creator of technology disowns his own creation. Though we have seen it happening surprisingly very frequently, right? As they say, even God himself regretted creating humanity. Now, this is something which actually raises the question, right? How much can we expect from the creators when the divine acknowledges their oversights? Which brings us to the first episode that's called The Allure of the Virtual Utopias, right? Let's talk about the time of mid 1990s where the techno idealists argued that the internet would bring about a utopian world. They believed it would level social hierarchies, it will transform the politics and challenge the corporate power. But do you think really it happened? But the promise of this digital frontier were tantalizing, offering a vision of connected and a very harmonious society. And talking about this, going even further, Twitter emerged as a catalyst, right? And it actually brought the change during the Arab Spring, inspiring hope for the united front against injustice. So, the co founder of Twitter was personified as a techno visionary, right? But the fabrication with the sites and the systems fueled his belief in transformation of power of technologies. However, there are a lot of unforeseen challenges as the creation interact with the complex human dynamics, right? But this will bring you to the episode number 2, that is the pitfall of the centralized powers. Now, today the internet is dominated by a handful of tech giants controlling the majority of internet traffic. Now, these centralized powers have the potential to change and shape the public discourse, right? And influence society on a massive scale. However, the promises of the social media platforms like Twitter has been overshadowed by the perils they bring. Now, misinformation, I don't think can be ideological or political polarization. We have data mining. We have mass surveillance going on. Algorithmic amplification of extreme voices has become pervasive, right? Which eventually is eroding the trust and it actually is dividing the communities, all right? But let's call it a bleak term called the health site, or users increasingly deface their existence on this platform, questioning whether we are redeeming qualities remaining or something. The consequences of centralized power has begun to overshadow their potential benefits. Now, this actually is prompting a very critical reevaluation of the role of the creator and the impact of their inventions. Which brings you to the third episode for it, that is theodicy and the creator's limitation, right? Now, the question of evil in the world created by a powerful and benevolent being is known as theodicity. Theodicy, sorry. It actually means that there's a limitation as being a human creator, right? For to understand it better, you can think of it as a human are were being created by the god, and god creation itself deviated from his intentions, right? Which actually means is that creators cannot fully control their own inventions. They can be fallible and the creation can have unintended consequences, right? Which actually is going on, but the consequences of digital tools cannot always be foreseen. Our limitations as creators become more pronounced as our technology evolves in complexity. And for the errors of foresight, emphasizing the need for cautions, ethical consideration in the development and deployment of the new technologies, which brings you to the fourth episode. That's called the social media is actually a limited creator platform. So social media platforms actually have transformed the users into limited creators, right? Offering the illusion of something called godlike powers. But users create their digital realities by choosing whom to follow, what to engage with, what to amplify. However, behind the scenes, actually, what's going on is that algorithms perpetuate and they intensify the choices you are making. It's shaping the user's understanding of the reality, and at the end of the day, it actually is narrowing their perspective. To be more precise, innocent posts can be taken out of the context. They can go viral, leading to unforeseen consequences. Now, the power of social media can turn a post into a target or a fuel for a conspiracy theory. But the very platform that empower individual also limit the understanding of the world, which actually is reinforcing echo chambers and reinforcing the misguided beliefs. Bringing you to this episode number 5 for that, that's gonna be the promise of Web3, right? As the problem with centralized power became evident, many look to the promise that Web3, a decentralized blockchain based internet, is providing. So, what we actually are trying to do is we are aiming to restore the original vision of a more democratic, equitable digital landscape. But this is also gonna be skeptic. It's gonna be questioned for the overhyped expectations, which we already have. We already have overhyped expectations surrounding the Web three. But what actually are the true potentials of the Web three? Right? We need to caution against the overlooking of the challenges, and complexity will always be there, right? It's inherent in building a new digital frontier, right? So the skepticism should remind us that technological salvation might not be as straightforward as it seems to be, which brings you to the episode number 6 for it, that's called the path to redemption, right? So, being a creator, we hold the key to redemption. We must acknowledge our limitations, embrace the skepticism, and approach our inventions with ethical responsibility. Now, engaging in meaningful dialogues, right, questioning our digital presence, and considering the impact of our actions are crucial step towards the redemption. So, by collectively shaping the future, we can avoid repeating past regrets and navigate the digital age with greater mindfulness and consciousness, right? We just need to remember that our creations, no matter how powerful they can always have unintended consequences, right? You can't control it, but through skepticism and ethical responsibilities, right, we can pave a way for a more balanced and mindful technologies in the future, right? Please join for the conversation, share your thoughts about it and experiences, right? See you in the next video soon.